So welcome back to another Q&A where once again we'll be answering all of your questions. This month I'm super excited to be talking to our first track and field athlete, Jessie Tappin, who also competed in the 2014 Team England Commonwealth Games, which is amazing. So welcome. First of all, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Great, I'm not too bad myself. We've got quite a few questions to get through, so we'll get straight in there. The first question I've got is, do you find it hard to train or compete when you're on your period?
Yes, I do find it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Like my training is all done on the clock, so on a stopwatch, so it's easy to see if I've dropped off, blah blah blah. So unfortunately, yes, it does make a difference. And not necessarily just to my times, like physically I always feel a lot more fatigued. I feel heavier. Like I may not look different, but I feel it in myself.
You feel it,
horrible. And you try and like, my boyfriend is my coach, and to be fair, most of my coaches have been male. And you try and explain it to them, and some of them don't want to know, and some of them are really good at listening, but still can't quite relate.
They'll never get it, will they? They'll never just quite get
I know. Girls don't have it easy. It is not fair. But it's as unfortunate as it is, and you feel like this and times can slack, like you can't always, unless you're on like a contraceptive pill or something, you can't control when your periods are going to be. So you may have like the biggest competition of your life coming up, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm on my period. Perfect. It happens to me every year for British champs. I'm always and I'm just like, oh, why? What? But it's a head game at the end of the day. Like you may feel heavy, you may feel crap, you may feel bloated, all this, you have pains, whatever, but you have one race or one jump, one throw, or one competition, like get it done, get it in your head, you've trained on your period before, like you know what it is, you've done the training at these heavier weights, because I used to put on so much weight when it was my time of the month.
Because I think, because I know now, because it's only last year when I started getting my periods properly, I can see the difference, because that it kind of does make a difference, because I'm used to training without them, and I would be the same. I would be tired all the time and stuff because I wasn't feeling properly. But now it's, when you're in different phases of your cycle, because you will feel different depending on where you're at. So I do find it can be hard to compete and train when you are on your period. Do you think some of it is psychological as well, would you say, for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like if I know I'm heavy, in your head, like, so if you got on the scales and looked at your weight, for example, because some people track their weight all the time, some people decide not to even look at a scale. Personal preference, depends how you are within yourself, like mental health and whatever, because you get on a scale and it can affect you massively. But if you get on and you weigh yourself and you're a lot heavier than normal, that can have a big effect on you, like psychologically. Like you if you didn't get on the scales and you lived your life the same way, like you could have had a brilliant session, but you just trod on those scales and you're like 3, 4, 5k heavy or whatever, and all of a sudden, oh no, I'm gonna have a terrible session.
I think for me is I get quite tired, so I'm going to the session thinking I'm so tired, I am dead. So I suppose there is ways to manage it all. But to answer the question, I think it is hard. But you, like you said, you've got to just push through, haven't you, really? Just do the best job you can.
Totally. I think that it is a mindset. No, like, you can turn up to a training session really fatigued, and that has been me many times, because I used to train in the evenings because I was working all through the day. So, and I'd be working on my feet all day, and the last thing I want to do, I used to go home from work, I used to sit on the sofa for 5 minutes and just shut my eyes, because I used to be so dead. I'd have nothing left, and I think, well, how am I going to go run around the track however many times,
Exactly.
hard as I possibly can, lift weights or whatever? No way. Like, the last thing I want to do, I just want to go to bed. So literally take 5 minutes, and I just shut my eyes, try and recharge the battery. And I honestly find just like that 5-10 minutes makes a massive difference.
Coming up.
Even if you do get that's why I have it. But if you do get to the track and you feel fatigued, I think, like, there are supplements you can take to give you these boosts. Like I take caffeine, like, when I'm feeling really fatigued. And I find that helps. Have a cup of coffee, have a green tea if you're like into reacting to caffeine too much, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think, like, it is a mindset. Like, even if you're not feeling 100%, you need to give 100%.
You need to give that 100% that you've got on the day. So it might look different to your 100% yesterday, but as long as you can give whatever 100% is today, then you're going to get the most out of that session. But this is kind of answering our next question, which was, how do you get through a training session when you're that tired? And I think it's also about knowing when it's tired just because you've been training and because you've been working all day, and when it's tired because you're under feeling and you need to just rest. Like, sometimes resting is what is best rather than pushing through.
Oh God, 100%. Like, I used to be the athlete that I cannot miss one day of training. If I do, I failed, and my whole season.
So was I. Like, I know exactly what that's like.
Yeah, and that's ingrained into you by people, because if you're not giving, like, everything, leaving yourself, like, dead on the track, you've not trained hard enough. That's not always the case. Like, you may have some sessions that leave you like that. And social media, a lot of people will post about those hard sessions. But that's not every session. You have to listen to your body. Everybody is different. Some people can train 7 days a week, run every single day. I am not that person. If I did that, my body would break. And I've been through that. But again, like you,
same. I would train. If I was waking up and I wasn't feeling great, I'd still be at the pool, and I wouldn't, if I had a cold and it was really bad, like, some sessions you can go if it's not too bad, but last week I had such bad cold. I just woke up and I had a temperature, and I just listened to my body, and I said, well, this morning I just need to stay in bed. And by the next day I was back in training. But if I would have pushed through, it would have meant having to take more time off in the end, because I was pushing myself through something that I needed to be resting through.
Definitely. I've done that, like, many times before. My coach had set a session. I have to complete this session. If I haven't, I failed. But now, like, because I used to get, like, a cold or whatever, and you'd carry on, you feel crap, but you'd push yourself, and then mine would lead to a chest infection, a throat infection, and you'd be out for however many months, because, like, you're on antibiotics, you don't have to take any of those. Like, take a couple days off if need be, but it's all well and good saying it. You just need to tell yourself that you do need these recovery days to make you so much stronger and better for the future.
And did you used to find when you were in that kind of old mindset that you would hate taking breaks and stuff over Christmas, and you felt like you had to be training all the time, or was that was me? But
no, I do agree with that. Like, I definitely was that person all the time, apart from Christmas. I think Christmas, there's a lot of distractions around Christmas. And I'm a very family orientated person, and I literally let myself go over the Christmas period all the time.
Oh, good.
But throughout the year, beside that like little part, I would beat myself up if I hadn't done this, hadn't done that. Like, you push yourself, you have one day off, you push yourself 10 times harder the next day.
Because it's that feeling of guilt, so that's kind of linked to taking days off. So yes.
It's not good. That's not the right way to
not
be.
At all, no.
That's not the way to
go. Oh, right, we'll move on to the next question. What would you say is the ideal breakfast for a hard session, and then what about an easier session?
Okay, so for me, it depends whether it's like summer or winter, because in the winter I love porridge. I used to like really not understand people eating porridge, because I tried it, just plain porridge, and I just thought to myself, how the hell people eating this? Like, I'd make
yourself eat it.
myself to eat it, and I just think, no. And I feel 10 times worse after eating it. However, saying that, like, I found like different ingredients that to put in this, that, and the other. Sugar, like putting some syrup in or something, like honey, fruit. I like put so my porridge, I'll tell you one. I'd put my oats in, and I'd use almond milk, the sweetened Valpro, whatever, the almond milk. Put that in, and then I put some chia seeds in, and then at the end I'd put some cocoa nibs and a load of Greek yogurt. I put literally like a mass, and it cools it down. So then, if I'm in a rush, it helps because I can get it down. And blueberries. Cheeky little tip. But that, and then I put some honey or some syrup over the top to sweeten it up. That makes such a difference. So that's like my winter breakfast.
Okay.
Summer breakfast, I have like overnight oats.
Oh, so I love overnight. I have them now, like even in winter. That's what my go-to. So
I just like something warming in the winter, or if it's a colder day, in the summer I'll just have porridge. Or I'll have Greek yogurt. But like for a training session, getting the oats in as well makes a massive difference. And I found having to eat earlier, have to wake up a bit more, because if that hasn't gone down, then
you feel a bit sick, don't you?
But that goes for anything I eat, but that works on different people's metabolisms, and
there's a lot to it. But I would say, like, you don't have to have an ideal breakfast either. Just as long as you have something, I think will do.
Definitely.
Like, because once you start labeling stuff as ideal, people start then panicking about, oh God, do I need to eat? Is this healthy enough? Just as long as you have something that'll fuel you, I feel. I don't think you should do it fasted. But
no, I don't. I mean, I know so many people that do that. And I've tried so many different things, but I have to have fuel. Like,
same.
Like, I've noticed with my results, like I just can't. I just perform so much better. I may not feel too much different, but literally seeing my results, I actually have to have fuel, because I perform at much better standard. So personally, I like a little bit of routine. So, because otherwise I'm the most indecisive character. So if I wake up and like, oh, what should I have today? And then it's like, oh my God, Jess, you need to leave. Like,
it's scaring me, like how similar I am to you.
It's so funny. Like, so we need a little bit of routine.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, but
Yeah.
right. The next question is whether you are strict with your diet. So I know.
Now, am I?
Yeah. Or like in the past and stuff, but yeah.
In the past, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I wish I didn't, because I know from obviously experience, I used to cut out loads of stuff.
Yeah.
I'd binge, which was bad, because I'd end up binging because I'd go so long without not eating, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm starving. Like, oh, what can I get? Oh, anything in sight. Like, it's awful.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't touch any carbs. So I wouldn't touch bread, I wouldn't touch pasta, I wouldn't touch rice. And I'm an athlete. What on earth was I thinking? But you see social media, you read articles, you read this, that, and the other. There's all these different types of diets.
Everything's bad for you these days, isn't it? Everything. You can't eat anything.
No, exactly. So, and there's like people doing this gluten-free that don't need gluten-free, dairy-free, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I tried it all. Like, and it did not work for me. So I used to eat low carbs, high fat, high protein. That was pretty much my day-to-day diet. And I was lean, really lean. But my weight would fluctuate. Like, because I used to weigh myself, like I'd stand on the scales like every day just to, I wouldn't get up and like upset about it or anything, but
you'd want to know.
I'd weigh myself after a meal. Oh, how much have I put on now? Like, oh, how much have I lost now?
And that it's not psychologically, it's not good, is it really?
It's not great. But I changed training route and I started eating carbs, because I don't think until last year, maybe the year before, was my first winter that I've been able to complete.
Really?
Like, I've always been injured throughout the season. I'll have like months off, a whole season off, because I've got injured. Like, I've never been in, I mean, a lot of athletes are the same, but I feel like sometimes you can control that. And now I eat carbs. I eat everything. I have everything in moderation. And that is the key.
It is
everything in moderation. Don't cut out anything unless you have an allergy or an intolerance.
Unless you have to.
Exactly. So I just found like all of a sudden I was eating carbs and I was like, oh, my DOMS wasn't
energy.
Bad. I've got energy. I'm not getting injured. I'm not getting these niggles. All of a sudden I was just like, oh my God. And I wasn't putting on weight. And I was like,
it all fits together, doesn't it? Once you start seeing it, you just think, what was I doing? Why was I doing that to myself?
An idiot. But you see all this stuff and you feel like, especially blooming athletics, where you have to, well, you don't have to race in a crop top and knickers, but it is like the thing to do. And if you're starting on the start line and you look down or you look to one side at your the person next to you, and you just compare yourself, and then they've got like whatever 2% body fat, you look at yourself and you feel like, oh, like absolute heifer over here. And like, what is that? Like, but then you can go and beat them.
I bet they're doing the same thing as well. They're comparing themselves to the person next to them as well, aren't they?
Yeah, so, completely. It's awful. So
yeah.
it's a massive mind game, but yeah, going back, sorry, I completely went off topic there. But nutrition, everything in moderation. It will give you energy. It will keep you tip-top condition. Like you push yourself crazy hard, so you need to replenish. Like you need to get that protein back in for your muscles. You need that carb to help the recovery of your muscles, but also your energy for the next day.
Exactly.
Like, it's just
because I get people saying, "Oh, you're an athlete, so you must have to eat so healthy." Or I go home and I've got family who I've not seen for a while, and they say, "Oh, so are you really strict with your diet?" And I'm like, why do people assume that we have to? Because I used to be extremely strict, but that got me in a very bad place. So you just, I guess you have.
Sorry to hear that.
No, but I think that has made me. I think not that I needed to go through that, but going through that did teach me so much about myself and about something that's common in people, but you don't realize it at the time. Yeah, you're not the only one, definitely.
Yeah, I totally agree, because there's so many stories, especially of athletes, like and it's horrible. But like I said, everything in moderation, and remember why you're doing it. It's not but to what you look like. You want to have good performances, and you want to be able to get out there and have a great season. So
because what you're feeling yourself is going to let you perform, isn't it? So and that's why you're doing sport, hopefully, is to get good results and stuff. So
exactly.
Exactly. The next question is, how do you deal with the pressure from Instagram athletes posting about extremely healthy diets? So I guess that kind of links into what we've just spoken about. If there's anything you can add to that.
I don't. Instagram is a funny one. Like, it's a massive love-hate for me. And I feel like, personally, I'm strong enough to go through and do whatever on Instagram. But I know so many, I was going to say youngsters, but a lot of people my age also have deleted it. They can't deal with it, because all you do is compare. Like,
well, because you only see the best bits, don't you? You don't see
you don't see the behind the scenes, this, that, and the other, the crap that they've had to deal with that day, the day before, whatever. Like, they just want to portray the best things, which is great, because you want to see positives. You don't want to see negative behavior all the time. But that is reality. Like, and we don't see reality. Like, the whole Insta versus reality. I know that's like the way people pose and whatnot, but I don't know. It's crazy what social media can do. And like I said, I hate it. Because it is difficult, and I can understand for some people all they can do is compare. And I know that even I feel like I have a very strong head, and I still will catch myself doing it, comparing myself, and then I'll get outside my body, look at myself, and just be like, what are you doing?
Like, is that something you've had to work on? Has it ever bothered you, or is it something you've worked on, or is it something, are you quite strong?
Hard for that. I tell you. I was terrible. My confidence in myself was horrific. When I was at school, I could go to school just about, but to do anything with my friends outside of school, I couldn't leave the house. I hated the way I looked. I hated the clothes that were on me. Like, and then you see these girls, especially when you're growing up, girls go through puberty and stuff, boobs are getting bigger, people getting curvy, whatever. Like, it is a comparison game the whole way through life. Like, and it totally shouldn't be, because everyone's all different shapes and sizes, and it really doesn't matter. You just need to learn to love yourself, which is so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because it's taken me a long time, as I know the same for you.
Yeah.
But once you've got that, I watched a film, in fact, like, it'll make your better, like, life so much easier. But I watched a film. I'm trying to think what it was called. I'll find out and I'll tell you about it.
Let me know.
It changed my life. Basically, it was about a girl who was a bigger girl. She was around like these glamour models who were, and these stick thin girls that are beautiful, and all she did was compare herself. Blah, blah. She'd wish and she'd dream to be these people. And then one day she woke up and she was this like beautiful model. And she went and lived her life. She was getting like super confident. And she was getting all this attention. She was getting all these job offers. She was in an awful job before. Like, her life was all of a sudden amazing. Like, exactly how she wanted it, because she looked like this beautiful thing. However, she just thought she looked like
I've seen that film. Yeah. She thinks she's beautiful, but she doesn't realise she's exactly the same. I can't remember what it's called though.
I can't remember what, and I can't remember the actress's name either.
I've watched that one though. Yeah.
And I tell all my friends to watch it, because it does not matter what you look at like as long as you are confident in yourself.
Confidence will go a long way, won't it?
Totally. Like, it makes a difference. So I will find out the name of this film.
I'm sure it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure I watched it on Netflix. But
I think
that's a good reference. Also kind of linked to the weight side of things is, would you say that weighing yourself often is a bad thing?
So I think it depends on the person. I think it can be horrific, especially for girls. Guys also, but you hear a lot more issues, I guess, with young girls. But anyway, I do weigh myself.
Okay.
And I weigh myself once a week, the same time. I do it Monday morning first thing. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I will write in my training program throughout the whole year. So I know what I started winter on, what I start my season on midway through, what I was at when I ran my PB, kind of thing. But that's like, I don't let that affect anything. If you can do that, then okay, great. But weight means nothing, because I can get on the scales and I can be super light one day. I get on next week and I can be super heavy. Like,
it fluctuates, doesn't it? That's the thing. It fluctuates all the time.
So you don't need to get yourself worked up about something like that. Mine is just to track. Just, it goes in my program and I see, is training working? Like, have I lost too much weight? Am I eating enough? Have I done too much weight? Am I really heavy all of a sudden? Have I, like, in that phase of that block of training, has anything changed? Okay, maybe we look at something like, but I won't get on the scales 1 week and be like, oh, I need to lose weight. Like, no, that's not the point of it, because fluctuation is massive. It's like with periods, it's a massive thing. Like, I used to put on every single cycle 5 kilos every single month.
Oh my God.
5 kilos. Yeah, and that is a lot of weight. Like, I was doing heptathlon at the time, and like, to get over the bar, like, one day I'll be 5 kilos lighter, the next day I'm trying to jump over a high jump.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, oh my goodness, the weight going through my legs right now, trying to run around the track. Like, it's hard work because it's not consistent, like that kind of weight. But I've tried loads of different things for me to go with, like a contraceptive to try and sort that. I can't have any estrogen because I've got a lot of breast cancer and stuff in my family, so I'm just allowed to touch estrogen. However, I've tried like progesterone based things. I've tried going completely natural. I can't go natural because of my periods are really heavy, which is a horrible thing to have to talk about.
I'm the same. I'm the same. I'm extremely heavy.
And it's not, it's so crap for girls. Like, I had a competition I did indoors, and I was not on anything for the whole like winter indoors, because I tried to do 6 months without anything. I wasn't well. My iron levels, eventually I went to the doctors because I got to the track one day and I had to do just warm up. We did 400 meters, that was it, just jog round, got back in, and I fell asleep. And that's not like me. I've got ADHD and I'm like a nutter, and I was just like out for the count. My coach was like, Jess, like, what's going on? So I went and had blood tests and stuff. My iron was like stupidly low. My B12 was silly low. I went to a competition before this, and I've run faster over the hurdles on a 4 than I was doing on the flat 4. It was really bad, but it was all because I couldn't go natural. My body just couldn't cope with it. So I've had to try so many different types of ways, and touch wood, I think I've like
nailed it.
I think so. But like, then with that, I can't control when I am going to have periods, so I don't know when I'm going to, what to do with like competitions, etc. But I'm not gaining those like 5 kilos every cycle.
And I suppose you've got that balance right now, because you were saying that in the past you weighed yourself every, after a meal, after every second. So it's just working out what works for you. I don't weigh myself anymore. When I was recovering my period, I would weigh myself just to track that I was putting on weight, because that was the goal, was to put on weight to get the regular cycle again. But now I've kind of ditched them again, because I feel like there's different ways of measuring how things are going, and you don't have to rely on weight. And I know, if you do prefer to do that, then, and it works for you, where you're in a positive, in a mindset that works,
and that is
great.
Key.
But,
you've
just got, if it puts you down or whatever reason you don't want to do it, then there is other ways. You don't have to weigh yourself either. So
no, you don't. You really don't. I think you're doing the right thing. I feel I'm doing what works for me, and not one thing will work for everyone.
Well, we've just shown we've got two different things that we do here, don't we? So there's just 2 of us and we do different things. So it's going to be different for everyone, which is Well, we've actually got to the last question. Someone's asked for period regain advice, so regaining any advice for regaining your period. And I don't know your experience of whether you've ever lost your period or anything, but I know I'm in a position to answer that if need be. But
I've always had them on, like, I guess fortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can't
Yeah,
really relate to that.
yeah.
I've always been complete opposite and have like hated every moment of my life of having having them and trying to control them a bit.
Yeah.
So I can't
That's
really
good. That's good to hear. That's good that you didn't get to a point where you lost them. But I always say I don't like want to give advice because obviously I'm not qualified, but I'm always
Yeah.
happy to talk about my experience. Like I was so underweight that's why I lost them. I wasn't eating enough. I was so thin that I wasn't at a healthy weight to be having a period. But like in terms of what I did, I kind of took it slowly so that I wasn't putting on all this weight all of a sudden, and it was getting me in a worse position where I would lose more weight because I was panicking that I was putting on too much. So I kind of took it slowly, and I had a coach work with me, and he was brilliant. He would, he'd check up on me, make sure I was okay, and we'd just take it almost weekly or like daily. And if I was kind of having to reintroduce foods that I'd been avoiding and stuff, so that was a lot of it was kind of mentally. I think a lot like losing my period was down to kind of the mental state I was in as well, because it was because I was restricting so much that I lost them. So it was working on that mentality and knowing that it's okay to eat more, it's okay to eat chocolate and cake and in moderation, like you said. So yeah, advice is just like take it slowly, have someone work with you if you're fortunate to be in that position. Like reintroduce foods, work on your mindset. And also I think stress can make you lose your periods as well. So I'm quite a stressed out person. Like I was saying to you earlier that I'm really indecisive as well. So that stresses me out. I can't decide on things.
I'll feel that.
Yes. So it's just working on it's like mentally, it's just working on it and knowing that it's okay if it takes time as well. So I was stressing out after 1 month where I'd been eating more and nothing was changing. I wasn't putting on any weight yet, and I still wasn't getting my periods, and I was still in a bit of a state where I didn't want to eat like bad things. But then I kind of realized that it takes time. Like it's not going to work in a month.
No.
You have to, because I'd been starving my body for so long. Obviously, the extra food I was giving it was going to take time to build as like extra weight on me. So I think I was 6 months down the line, I got my first period back. So 6 months is quite long when you're working on something, but in the bigger picture, it's nothing. Like when you think, hopefully for the rest of, until I'm older and going through menopause then, that I'll, have regular periods. So 6 months in that bigger picture is nothing really.
No.
And like the life you gain afterwards is just so much, it's so worth it. And I think it's about focusing on getting your life back. And then once you do that, your period comes back, I feel. Like by that 6 months, I was getting my life back, like I was starting to go out for meals with my family. I was having birthday cake when it was my mum's birthday without thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? Yeah. So it was like, I don't know, get your life back and everything else will kind of fall into place, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
Because I know my sister also, she's not like a competitive athlete, but she trains hard, and she was skinnier when she was going through school, a lot skinnier. So she would be happy with me telling you all of this, but she lost a lot of weight and her periods stopped. And she went to uni, got her life back into gear, everything was good. But then with her job is very stressful, and it's gone backwards again. So her weight, she's got completely under control. She trains her little butt off. She does amazingly. She's in great shape. but again, it's the stress as well.
Yes,
So you just
yeah.
need to be,
So it's not one thing. You need to figure out what kind of causes it, and if you need to go through a GP to make sure that your bloods are fine and everything, then do that first, and then find out what route is best for you afterwards. Yeah. I don't think
it's so difficult, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
being a woman is great, but it comes with some pros and cons. Like,
well, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but it's everything, like, in moderation again, whether it's food or lifestyle. Like, you just gotta learn to sometimes just chill
out. Yeah, look at the bigger picture. Don't forget why you're doing things, and don't lose yourself in trying to get somewhere that you know, don't work so hard on getting somewhere that you lose yourself like along the way. Just
remember why you've done it.
I think we've covered all of our questions, it's been so good to talk to you, honestly. It's just, I love talking to people who are like honest and have the same vision as me to kind of move things along in sport, and just, you know, it's been really good. You've been so honest. Thank you.
Thank you. No, well, you've been really easy to talk to, and thank you so much for having me. I'm glad you chose me.
Yeah, my first track and field athlete.